Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, you know, in the boxing world right now, it's kind of getting a little bit crazy and dare I say probably a little bit childish. We're talking about the biggest fight of the year, which I told y'all was Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. I've been saying that for months, right? Months, because I told you that the biggest fight would be Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, and it probably wasn't going to happen. So the biggest fight was Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall, and up until now, I'm right about that. Well, we know that the fight didn't happen, but now, what's going on with the Errol Spence and Terence Crawford is you got two different fractions going on, two different sides of the argument, and it's getting to be a little bit, ridiculous. So to say the least, people that cover boxing, respect the people who've really, done their homework, people who've worked on their channels and building a big base and stuff like that, are really, getting themselves in a situation where you're probably going to lose a little credibility here by trying to just be one-sided on this particular thing going on between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Damn it, the fight didn't happen. We got enough details. We kind of know that probably the fighters probably want to fight, and the things that are going on around them are not happening. But what I'm just thinking is, at some point, when people come out, like Terence Crawford came out, said some stuff. Now Errol Spence is coming out saying some stuff. Well, now it's getting to the point where, okay, that's enough for me, right? Whatever with that, because you don't want to get into it too far, because we don't know exactly all of the details. But like I said before, it looks like the fighters at least want to fight. But it's very, very similar to Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. There's so many similarities, it's incredible. One is, it's an undisputed fight. But, we can't, stress that as too much, because it's very important. It's an undisputed fight. It's a fight that the boxing world wanted to see. That's exactly what Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua was. Everybody kind of wanted to see that. They was just saying it was the biggest fight in boxing at the time. So, right? Then, of course, like most other fights, it's not just a Joshua versus Deontay Wilder and a Crawford versus a Spence thing, but then you're going to have people wondering about who is the A side and the B side. Now, the people involved probably should be worried about that, but the people writing about it and covering it, that shouldn't be interesting, because the more you do, the more you give people in the negotiations, the narratives that's out there. Like, this guy's more important than this guy. And when you're talking about Spence and Crawford, they both have arguments to be the A side. I know a lot of people are like, oh, no, it's no, both have arguments. I can sit here and argue for both of these guys, and both of them could be A side. So when a fight like that, you would think it would just be 50-50 and let's move on. But that's similar to, the Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight. Then you got somebody, the smaller guy, right, is the guy who's the B side. The smaller guy is also the guy who seems to want the fight more. The smaller guy has to take all of the, consolation prizes, basically. You have to be the B side. You have to take, basically nothing. The example was, for example, Wilder and Joshua was supposed to be 80-20. Joshua was offering him at first, right? Same thing here. All kind of ridiculous. We heard this, he's going to get 35% and no guarantee with Crawford, right? Then all of a sudden you hear Anthony Joshua give an interview saying, hey, for 50 million, I'd fight right away. Then Deontay Wilder out of nowhere comes up with a $50 million offer. Same thing going with Crawford. Hey man, you're going to get 35%, but no guarantees. So then he comes up with a $50 million offer, except it's different. It's 25 apiece. Wilder's was $50 million for Joshua. Don't worry about what I'm getting. You getting your $50 million you was talking about. And once we make over $100 million, then we're gonna start earning from from the rest of it, from the back end, right? This is the same thing. Hey, we're gonna get 25 apiece. Once the investors get their money back, then we're gonna make 20% of the rest of the back end. Good deals, right? After Joshua or Spence gets this deal, this offer, what are we to start doing? You hear people start saying, hey, Are the finances real? That's probably not real. Same thing, right? So we just respect one side of people's getting deals. Somebody gets an offer, and we're trying to figure out how we can both get paid. No, the A side is not happy with both parties getting paid. No, as Joshua said, no, we're not taking that 50 million. We don't know if your 50 million is real and whatever, right? We want you to take 15 million flat fee and we get the other 85 million. We're happier with that deal, right? Then what happens? Once Deontay Wilder says, yes, okay, then forget it. I mean, it's bad because I would have made a whole lot more money, but I want the fight. I'm going to take the 15 million. Then that's when Povetkin got shoved down his throat. Terence Crawford, similar, isn't it? Like, okay, I tried to get us both, so a whole lot of money. Then, okay, then I take the deal. And then the deal still don't get done in due time. Then he decides to say, okay, well, then I'm out and I'm going to go and take a deal what's going to get me 8 figures because y'all disrespecting me like I can't get, like I'm here in this negotiations or bust, right? So Crawford's now getting paid more than what he was going to get there. I think that's cool, but it's a lot of similarities. Here's another note, too. When Devin Haney had to go get undisputed, this is recently. This is why I don't understand all this ridiculousness. Devin Haney we needed him to become undisputed. But to do so, he had to fight your boy George Kambosos in Australia, right? We remember that. He had to just suck it up. He had to get less money than that guy, right? Had to suck it up, right? But here's what the point was, all right? Devin Haney's manager, promoter, was Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn had to let him out of the contract to sign with somebody else just to let that fight happen, right? You know who could have done that? Al Heyman and PBC could have said, hey, you know what, 25 million, hey, we don't give a damn where that's from. You're going to have to make that, Errol. You're going to have to make that, Errol, and we'll all get paid, but you're going to have to make that, right? Unless, of course, Errol was going to get more than that for fighting Spence, but we don't know that. So those are the similarities. My point with this is everything is like this, y'all. It's a lot of grown men out here making videos and stuff like that. So, act accordingly to your age. We don't know who's right here, but, like I say, it's childish. Bottom line is the two dudes wanted to fight. It didn't happen. And I can't sit here and ask Terence Crawford to do more than what he's done to try to get the fight. And in the past, in terms of how he wants to fight and who he wants to fight. He's trying to fight Spence so he can become undisputed and go to the next division and try to become undisputed. We're trying to get in his way. Same thing with Wilder was trying to get undisputed, and he was going to get Tyson Fury after that, right? And we were trying to stand in his way for somebody to get undisputed. And that's what happens in this industry. When we see somebody that's about to do something ridiculous, like Demetrius Andrade trying to get undisputed against Canelo, we don't want him to get the opportunity. We got to stop that, y'all. I got to stop that. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence are awesome. Let's just hope they fight soon. And we don't need to split up just because of it. There's a whole lot of other stuff to split up about. Matter of fact, we need to be getting closer because it's a civil war going on. That's more important than the damn two boxers that are basically both awesome and going to fight soon. Anyway, I'm out of here. Don't Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.